Hey, Crack 36 for Access Knowledge Board Game Allied Headquarters. I'm playing the bad guys. Bought two transports and a industrial plant. This right here, just to let you know, is a Russian fighter and a Russian diver. I am doing a Russia crush, and I just want to make sure they defend. So sometimes with this computer, they can sit in the territory but not be attacked. If you edit them at all. So let's send everything we would normally do into Yunnan. That two from fighters from Hyeonsu and two bombers from Tokyo. And then we will also send the air units into Hunan. Let's try to eliminate those. And then the surprise move, of course, is I think the Manchurian fighters and divers can reach Hunan. Let's do that. And then let's move everything into Amur that we can. And isn't that very tempting to try and attack? That would be a pretty good attack right there. 12 versus 18. I think we will send. I didn't really want to do this, but I think I will send an artillery, two artillery into, two infantry on a transport to Amur, just to put that up to 14. A little less likely to be attacked. Yep, that's what I'll do. Okay, and that's it for combats. Let's see how we roll. Go to battle for Hunan and Yunnan. I'm going to roll some dice because I don't trust the AI. We love the AI. It's awesome. AI is great. Oh, that would have been the best roll ever. Dang it. Okay, we get two hits in Hunan. And Yunnan comes in, and here we go. 4 hits right away. Okay, and he gets 2, and let's keep going. I get those are tremendous hits. Okay, so good. Okay, we took out the Russian fighters. They cannot fly home to Moscow. That's the key. Let's go get those boys back to as far back as we can get them, and that is Kwangsi. Okay, these guys all land in Kwangsi. All right, I am going to bring. Let's land a bunch here. Actually, I need those up in north if I can get them. All right, so we're going to take the plane from the islands Formosa and Okinawa and land them in Manchuria. We're going to take the plane from Korea and land it in Manchuria. All the fighters from mainland and land them in Manchuria. We're going to take all of the. Oh shucks, I was supposed to take over on my. All right, I will do that. All the units from J-Hole are going to go to Manchuria. A artillery from Kiansu and an infantry from Okinawa are going to go on to a transport to go into Korea. And the 2 infantry that are in Season 5 are going to land in Amur. The anti-aircraft from Manchuria is going to go to Amur. Okay, the ships in Okinawa are going to go to 36. The transport here in, was it 20? It's going to go to 19, and no, it's going to go to Japan and pick up the tank and the infantry, and going to drop them off in Korea. That'll leave me with 6 ground units available, as well as the 7 planes. And for show of force, I suppose we'll move these aircraft into Manchuria as well. And then we will move the aircraft carriers down to 36. That'll give me some mobility. The cruiser in 20 goes to 36. All right, and we'll move the 3 infantry down from Kwangsi. I think we'll leave them right there, actually. And then Shantung will move to, what do I have? Kiansu, yeah. One of these is going to move to Anhui. I'll do that real quick. I'll pause it. All right, actually, I'm going to move the J-hole unit, the Shantung units up to J-hole. So let's undo that. We'll move these 3 infantry into J-hole. The artillery is going to come down to Kiansu. All right, and as far as the Caroline Islands go, we'll move those units over to 36. Leaving the units on Caroline and Peleliu. I think it's how it's named. That looks pretty good. I'll move the sub and the battleship down to 36 as well. I'm going to land those planes into Kwangsi off of 36. All right. Let's see how ugly it gets. Manchuria gets a factory. And the 2 transports come into Season 6. And we place. We get $40. We're making 30. And we get the ridiculous trade with America. Okay, so let's do a recap. 12 infantry, 1 artillery, 1 mech, 1 anti-aircraft, and a more. 2 infantry, 1 artillery, 7 fighters, 4 bombers, dive bombers in Manchuria with a new factory. There is a transporter in 5, 2 artillery, 3 infantry, 3 anti-aircraft, and 6. 4 transports, 2 destroyers, 1 cruiser in 6. C-Zone 6. Kiansu has 2 infantry, 1 artillery. J-hole has 3 infantry. Amur has 1 infantry. Hunan has 1 artillery, 3 infantry. Yunnan has 1 artillery left. Kwangsi has 2 bombers, 4 divers, 4 fighters. The bombers would go last if you attacked it. And then we have 36 has 2 battleships, 2 subs, 2 destroyers, 3 aircraft carriers, and 1 cruiser in 36. And I'm just looking at that to make sure. All right, I am actually going to bring those 2 destroyers and cruiser down to 36. So it would be 2 cruisers, 3 carriers, 4 destroyers, 2 subs, and 2 battleships, which I think is everything but the transports, which leaves C-Zone 6 with just 4 transports. There's an infantry in Iwo, Peleliu, 2 infantry, 1 anti-aircraft in Caroline, and then there's 2 infantry in Siam, and still 4 divers, 4 fighters, and 2 bombers in Kwangsi. All right, crack it out.